May 1st, 2020. Bill Maher, first of all, has been, I would say, consistently positive throughout all this. I don't always agree with all of his politicals, but he has consistently requested and frankly demanded alternative sources of information and opinions. And he seemed to understand the need to have a national discussion about this stuff. In this episode, he devoted quite a bit of time to talking with Dr. Katz, who is a nutrition-focused doctor, very well respected, well regarded, lives in Connecticut, definitely a fixture in sort of the tri-state, sort of New York City medical scene. He had written an editorial in the New York Times the week prior to this, I believe, and he had gotten a lot of flack for it. And he got a lot of flack for saying things that were true, which seems to be a pattern. And he went on Bill Maher to talk about those things. And they also talked about the fact that he was getting crap for it. And I don't think at this point they understood how bad it was going to get. And fast forward to a year now, it's bad. He's a very progressive guy. And even back here, it was anathema for a progressive person to be off narrative. The narrative at this point was very clear, and that did not include saying things like 98 to 99% of the people who catch COVID have extremely mild cases. He was talking about the fact that we really only have to worry about, 1% to 2% of cases. That's where it gets very severe. And we're still arguing about that today. That was absolutely true. Like the fact that the IFR was not 3 or 5%. It was tracking down, even at this point, very close to flu levels. And he also talked about the need to focus on at-risk demographics, specifically older people. He essentially pitched the idea of focused protection, right, from the Great Barrington Declaration. He says it very specifically in here multiple times, and Bill Maher agrees with it because it is common freaking sense, which is protect the old people because we knew, right, that they were vulnerable. This poor guy gets pounced on, canceled, censored, insulted. Bill Maher did too for this, having him on. I encourage you guys to watch this YouTube thing. I mean, it's fairly long. I mean, Dr. Katz talks for a long time. He is overly, I think, even-keeled. He is overly deferential, and that's because of the politics. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass there. I think he was wrong on Sweden at this point. He was trying to attribute, Sweden's strategy as like a let it rip kind of thing. And that was not, that's not accurate. That's not what Sweden did. But that said, all that aside, most of what he talks about here is to this day absolutely still true. And that's spooky. That is just crazy. And this guy was attacked for this. And unfortunately, Dr. Katz has, I think, been affected by that. I think it muted his voice. He is, from what I can gather, a fairly progressive fellow. He's a big name in, the tri-state, the New York medical scene. He did keep doing YouTube videos, I think like once every 2 weeks, once a month. But he wasn't out there like he could have been or should have been, in my opinion. Obviously, his points on nutrition are so incredibly important. And I got to say this. I got to credit Dr. Katz for personally showing me how really important nutrition and health and your body are to this overall, right? And it's like you knew it beforehand. Like people, if you're halfway intelligent, you know that you're not supposed to eat crap and you're supposed to take care of yourself, you're not drink too much or whatever, get exercise. You know all that stuff. But, and I knew that here. I knew that was good for your immune system. All that stuff, I know. Having followed him because of this has really opened my eyes to not only the really how important nutrition is, but also what kind of nutrition. I've been reading his stuff. I've been reading his mediums, and it's been super helpful and very enlightening. And I'm a better person for having discovered Dr. Katz. Thank you if you ever see this. You're a good dude. You're a good doctor.